Welcome everyone to this our 19th monthly OUSA forum, unless I've lost count. Some basic housekeeping. Please keep your microphone muted unless you've actually been called on to ask a question. You can insert comments or questions into the chat in real time if you don't want to save them all for the Q&A period. And note, we do have Matt recording this and it will be posted to YouTube. So if you aren't comfortable with that, you should minimize your exposure to whatever degree you feel is necessary. Turn your video off, refrain from talking, or leave entirely. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Kathleen to introduce herself and Sharma and their topic.
Thank you, John. So I am going to allow comments during this talk. I will also end certain sections and then ask, does anyone have questions as we move forward? If you raise a hand and I don't see it, I assume that, John, you'll see it and let me know, please.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so my name is Kathleen Lennon. I have been doing QOC social media now for over 15 years. Along the way, I've learned a lot through trial and error. And I think where we are right now with what we're doing, pretty confident that what we're doing is actually working quite well. Sharma, who is my partner in crime here, is QOC's volunteer coordinator, and she does our outreach. Together, we're going to tell you all about how QOC uses social media to create a stronger community. I would like to emphasize community here because we both feel strongly that community means in-person engagement and online engagement, because together they both are what has created a stronger community for us as a club. Sharma, did you want to say anything else about yourself?
I've just been doing the social outreach and volunteering. I think this is my second year. But as Kathleen said, I feel like the in-person community definitely helps make the community stronger on social media.
Yes. Okay. So we're going to start with how visibility, more visibility and engagement, we choose to use Facebook and Instagram. People tend to want or use one over the other, and then there are other people who use both platforms. So by using both simultaneously, Facebook and Instagram together, we tend to capture a broader audience. We don't miss anyone in a sense. Facebook is great for sharing detailed information, for discussions and comments. And when you put up a post in your written area, it allows clickable links. Instagram is great for photos and is awesome for videos. So if anybody's into videos, Instagram is a really good platform to do that on. Sharing stories. And then with regard to links, the links are not allowed in the post feed, but if you share a story, if you're familiar with stories, there is a little sticker section. And if you click on that sticker section, a link icon will come up, and you can put that on your story and then add your website link to it. It's good to know that because it took me a while to figure out where that was. Okay, Meta, which owns both Facebook and Instagram, has a business tools section that if you have a business, both your platforms for Facebook and Instagram are the business platforms, not like your social accounts, like your personal accounts. It has to be business. You can use this awesome tool. I really like it. I use it all the time to schedule posts. And this little image here sort of gives you a sense of it, the information. It's not important so much as this is what it looks like when you're in there. you'll see in the where my cursor is right up here, this is where you would decide, are you going to post to both Instagram and Facebook? Are you going to post to one or the other? You can toggle over here on and off and then decide how you're going to handle that. You put your write-up in here, you add your photos right there, not just one photo. We almost never post just one photo. It's everything we have, we post. And then this is how it's going to look over here on the right-hand panel. This is how it will show up on your Instagram or Facebook feed, basically. Now, Facebook and Instagram have different sizes for their photos, so it will look slightly different, but pretty much you get a sense of what it's going to come out like. Oops. Regarding visibility, or getting more of your visibility out there, one of the ways to do that is to have a plan in place. You have to plan and schedule, and then stay consistent with your plan. If you decide to post once a month on a Monday, the first Monday of the month, stick to it. If you decide to post every 2 weeks and it happens to be on a Monday every 2 weeks, stick to it. We tend to post our event announcements on Monday, the Monday before an event is to happen and when our registration opens. Wednesdays, we tend to post the previous weekend's event results. And in that, we have a write-up, we have lots of photos, and then we include the results link in that. Fridays, if something's newsworthy, we will post something. If there's nothing going on, then we don't post. I save those specific days for those specific things. And when you do that like that, people come to your page because they know it's going to be there at that time. So if you change or alter your plan, you sometimes will lose people because they've come there on the Monday, but you didn't have anything. They may not come back the next day. So again, I'd like to reiterate how important it is to have a plan and then to be consistent with that plan moving forward. And whatever that plan is for your club and for you, the person working behind the scenes, that's what counts. All right. Anybody have questions on that section? Nope. Okay. Moving along, the types of content that QSC will post. So again, Monday, the Monday before an event will open for registration, we have an event announcement. In our event announcement, we like to set it up such that beginners, community, friendships, kids, fun, and advanced orienteering levels are shown in 6 rotating images like I've shown here. So for example, this image right here is a beginner-friendly type of image. That would be my one event photo for that week. The next event that we have, I will move to community, and I will put up a photo similar to this to show community. After that, I will move on to showing a group of friends. And then kids with family, fun, advanced. So this rotation takes place every time we have an event. It's not these exact photos, but the idea behind a beginner, showing community, showing friendships, kids, fun, and advanced levels. The reason for doing this is that you want people to identify with either the beginner. Oh, I'd like to be a part of this community. I have friends, I want to bring them orienteering. Oh, look, my kids will love this. This is fun, look at that. Or, hey, I'm totally into racing and I want to win. That type of thing. So you get sort of the whole realm of how people might feel about coming out to join your club. Again, on Wednesdays, we post our results. In the results, we include lots of photos, photos specifically of people. And if you remember the photos I just showed you, the photos are pretty up close. And if you take a photo. Let's say you take a photo of a person who's a mile away. They're in the woods and you can barely see them. You have to ask yourself, will that invoke some emotional prompt? Will someone become excited over that? Probably not. So you want photos that show a level of excitement, or not even excitement, but like I can be a part of that. The other thing is the algorithms are set and are attracted to faces. So you will get more traction and you will get more activity on your page, on your Instagram or Facebook page, by showing faces up close. The other type of photo, again, that we include, I said we rotate between all the different types of people we want to feel that are included and that we want to attract. The same way goes with our results photos. We will show community, we show volunteers, we show beginners, and we show skilled orienteers. Some events we get more photos of skilled orienteers. Other events we nobody's gone out with their camera in the woods. So we actually have no orienteers in the woods, but we do show the fact that, hey, look, we're friendly. We have volunteers. You can still come out and join us. We always have a photo of a map, thanks to Sharma, who often takes that photo. So people get a sense of what the activity is. And there's such a wide range of ages being shown as well that almost anyone can say that they can join this activity. I'm going to show you our Mason Neck State Park event post that we, our first event of the 2025 season. And as you can see, we have a write-up. It's not too long. It has the results link. Can you guys all see my cursor? I hope so. Anyway, here you see.
Yes.
I can anyway.
Yes. Okay, good. All right. You can see that we've posted our result link. We've also put out, a shout out to our volunteers. I always put a shout out to the volunteers because without the volunteers, we don't have an event, and all of our orienteering clubs nationwide are all volunteer efforts. And it's really important to make sure you put that in there. If we don't thank them and they don't feel appreciated, they're not going to want to help again. So I highly recommend that you do that. Another thing that I'd like to say is we often in a post, we'll say, hey, come check out our next event, or our next event is, save the date type of thing. I include the link for that as well. And then in this post, you'll see that I have hashtags. It used to be super popular to put as many hashtags as you could in your post, but that's no longer a good thing to do because the algorithms get a little confused. They don't know who they should be showing this to, or if someone searches it gets chaotic, I guess, from what I understand. So these days, the thing to do is to put maybe 4 and no more than 5 hashtags in your posts. Hashtags allow people to do a search, and then it sort of leads them to your page if that's not already clear. Here I want to show you in this particular post, the map photo. We always have a map photo at our events because Sharma diligently does that. And then the compasses are shown. So people get a sense of, hey, this is some sort of map and compass activity, even if they don't understand the term orienteering. Then we have a bunch of group photos of people. Here we have people looking at their maps and reviewing it. Our volunteers, our friends, and then our QOC buff is there for everybody to see. Oh, and there's Justin and Lexi, husband and wife, doing it together. So basically that's the type of thing that we do here. This is Erin. Okay, so the next event that I would like to share with you is the Mid-Atlantic Champs. This year, this event was hosted by QOC. It's an event that we alternate back and forth between DVOA and QOC in terms of hosting. It is, the idea is that any club that's in the Mid-Atlantic region can join and try to win the Broken Compass Award. And this last year, we actually won it back. And it was a pretty successful event on several levels in that we had a pretty high attendance, and it was just in a good location and a lot of fun. The sprint level of this was something that was definitely fun, and always is actually. Again, we have a write-up. It's a little bit longer this time because it was a pretty active day with a lot going on actually. Not only do we have a regular orienteering section in this, you know, like a classic orienteering event, but we also had sprint club relays. Then we have our results up, and then we said, save the date, you know, join us for the 2025 Mid-Atlantics, and we can't see it. So it's a reminder that we do this every year, you know, come back. Here, as you see, these photos are very different. They're very action-packed. They definitely show you that this is a team effort and that there's a lot of fun going on in here, and it's racing. So it's not like the other event, which just sort of showed community, which is okay. If you don't have the orienteering photos to show because no one was in the woods taking photos, it's okay. I feel that with QOC, you know, it's not been an issue. In fact, it's actually grown the club, I think, a little bit more when people see more photos of how you get along and that you are a strong community. This post got 38 likes, 3 comments. This is another measurement. How well are your posts doing? You have to look at the engagement here. You know, 38, oh, actually it's more than 38 people. It's actually 40 people, no more, 41. And then your comments. If people are commenting and liking that many people, it's doing well. Especially, we are organically grown. We do not pay for ads. So we do not push for outside people who know nothing about orienteering. Or this is people who want to be here. So anyway, there was something else I was going to say, but anyway, we'll move along and hopefully it'll come back to me. Okay. So the other type of content that we tend to post is we like to highlight people. And volunteers are our favorite people to highlight because they do a lot for the club. Our volunteer pool has gotten so large, it's really pretty amazing. We're very, very lucky. I do think that's due to our efforts online and offline to really socialize and really just put ourselves out there to talk and be friendly. So here, our first photo is of Hillary, who I believe has only been orienteering with us for maybe a year and a half or 2 at most. And she's volunteered as an event director for the first time this last year. Valerie, of course, volunteers all the time. And then Amy Loudon, this is Amy's cat. Amy was cleaning e-punches and took a video of her little kitten Mittens sniffing to make sure the e-punch dippers were clean. So again, this was a video and it was shared to Instagram stories. And so although I can't really show you the video, you can go to our Instagram or Facebook page and see these things anytime you want. These are actually saved in the highlight sections. I would like to point out that when you post something to your Instagram, specifically feed, I recommend that you then share it to your stories. Sharing to stories gets a little more traction. I don't know why, but you will actually find that your stories get seen by more people. So do the Instagram regular post and then share to stories. If you connect your story sharing to Facebook from Instagram, whatever you share on Instagram will automatically get shared to Facebook. And that's how I have ours set up. I do not have set up the automatic share between Instagram and Facebook feeds because the sizing on the photos are very different. So that's not something that will work well. Another type of the content that we like to post is to celebrate achievements. So I'm going to share again another Facebook post. I really like sharing from Facebook because it gives you a sense of what it really looks like and how the post, putting something up in the presentation isn't the same. For you to see what we're looking at and how it's done is much better. So here we have DVOA hosted the 2024 Orienteering US Nationals. QOC came back with, I think, quite a haul here in the medals, as it says in the write-up. Again, we put here the results, the event results posts, and even though they're DVOA, that doesn't matter. We want people to see results. So ideally, this is what I was going to say earlier. Ideally, when you put your link up, the idea with social media is to get people to your website. So when you have a link in there, it gets people to your website so they can learn more about your club. Facebook and Instagram should not really be used as a website for clubs. You should have a website, and then your social media directs people to your website. That is the ultimate goal. Moving on from that, I would like to point out that we do highlight and thank people. I don't thank people personally. I don't like tagging people personally because not everybody wants to be tagged like that. I do, however, tag associations. So like Delaware Valley Orienteering, I will tag. We have other people that we work with, like EX2 Adventures, I will tag them. Things like that. Here's our photos. It shows you a range of what we include in our photos. I think everybody was so busy competing in this event that actually we have 127 photos in here. That's not true, what I was about to say. So the photos in here that are in the backdrop that people may not know are photos that were done by Evelyn Brodigan. She's doing a really fantastic job. She's at a lot of events now and taking great photos, so it's really appreciated. I'm really glad we have her. Anyway, moving on, this post in particular got 51 likes. People actively had to like this so that a lot of people will see these things fly through their feeds and then not really like them. They just see them and move along. So that's called usually like reach, how many people it reached. But then this shows how many people actively did something. So over 51 people actively liked the post or loved it. And I would like to point out that when you love a post, when you go through your feed and you're looking at your social media, specifically on Facebook, when you love a post, it gets way more traction and boosts you up in the algorithms. A lot of people don't know that. So if you just like a post, it's good. But when you love a post or you pick one of these other emotional things, it's even better. I will point out too, as a club, you should never, ever, ever choose this little angry guy. Facebook is a happy place. And if you want to attract Facebook to have other people attracted to your club, you need to present a happy platform. This post had 22 comments, 4 shares, and you can see it. Oh, including French Yellow, who shared, and Sharma. This is actually quite good for an organic growth. And I will point out also that sometimes if I see that a post is it's doing okay with the likes and the loves, but it's not doing great on the comments, and I want more comments on that post, I'll actively go in there as me, Kathleen Lennon, not as QOC, and I will say something. I will find something to say in that feed so that this will attract more attention, get other people to start chatting on it, and to boost the number of people who see the post. You have to actively, when you're doing this, not just make a post and let it sit. You have to go back and watch and engage. Okay. Oh, there is one other share I'd like to make. One other thing that we do. I'll go there now. This is another type of post that we like to do. If our club participants They do not have to be a member. They just have to be participants, and they're active. If they go off and do an adventure race or something that is similar or a like-minded activity, we will highlight that. This year, Mark Latanzi put on the Winter Wildcat. I think it's his second year doing this. And I forget how many of our club members attended, but you can see from this photo right here that this was the highest attending group that attended, that already knew each other and that were a part of a club. It was a really fun event. Sharma, who's also presenting with me, is in this photo here. She went. They had all kinds of, I think that's a meso, right, Sharma?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so Mark had set up a bunch of other fun little things in this event of his and put up this meso. It did pour and it did rain, hence Winter Wildcat. And then Lexi is Justin's wife. I think she's a wildcat in that photo. Anyway, this post also got, quite a few likes, 7 comments. I would like to point out, by the way, going back, Erin Linville, who was at this event as well, provided this write-up for me. I didn't write this. So when I am not a part of something or I don't know because I wasn't at an event, I will ask, hey, what happened at the event? Tell me more. Can you give me a little brief summary of what happened? So I asked Sharma to pull together the photos for me, and I asked Erin to do a write-up, or maybe Sharma asked Erin, I can't remember. Anyway, so together they gave me this information, which I was able to post. Don't be afraid to ask your members. If you're going to highlight something like this that somebody did in your club that's different from orienteering, ask them for the details. Tell them you want to highlight them. And I guarantee you they're going to be thrilled that you wanted to do that. So again, interacting or sharing what your members or participants do outside of the club is also important. And they will spread the word about orienteering to all the other people that they meet. And all those other people who are in those events are going to wonder, hey, these orienteering people, they're doing a lot better than we are. Maybe we should go orienteering. So there's a lot to gain from doing other events and connecting with people from through other activities. Okay, again, with the connecting with other activities also means that you should connect your social media, your club's social media should connect with other like-minded organizations. Connect with other adventure racers and adventure racing groups. When you do this, there are 2 that come to my mind: Broad Run Off-Road and EX2 Adventures in our area. We cross-promote our events when we don't have a conflicting event. If we already have an event on a particular day or even weekend, I will not share anybody's events outside of Quantico Orienteering Club or even from another club. So if 2 clubs have an event on the same day, of course I'm going to highlight our event. I'm not going to highlight that other club's event. Okay. So graphics. Using graphic content is, for me, a lot of fun. It is part of my background. I am a graphic designer, and in the past, I would spend hours putting together a graphic for a post that would maybe get, a few likes. And I would think, wow, that was a great graphic, and it didn't get a lot of attention. And so it was kind of disappointing. But I have since then found Canva, and I highly recommend Canva. It is a great place. It's easy. They have templates. You don't even have to think almost. You just grab something. If you don't like part of the template, delete part of it, take a section out of it and delete it. It's free. Canva has a paid program, and then a subscription, and then a free one. So I highly recommend that anybody doing this, anybody doing your social media pages should definitely check out Canva, use it, have fun with it. This first one right here, that's a picture of my husband, Greg. And this was our 3 to 8 hour Rogaine. I do not do graphics for every event. I only do them for special events because I will go back to the photo issue. I feel photos do so much more on their own to attract attention and people. So although this graphic includes a photo, and it includes a photo because of the whole face thing and getting people's attention, I do also make graphics that don't include photos, or photos are further away, as you can see here. So I will point out, though, that I did put up this Flickr post, and then I highlighted it on stories because I wanted everybody to know that we have this amazing album of photos from all our events, and they're categorized in albums from that event, from each event that we've done. I think it's something like, I can't even remember how many years worth of photos we have, but we have a lot. And if you go to our website at any point and you scroll to the very bottom and you see the Flickr icon, you can click on that and you can go visit our library of photos. I do prefer that only QSC people use those photos, but it just gives you also a sense that if you are collecting photos for your club, because I use those older photos all the time, because I use them from specific parks. If I'm going to, post something about a park we're going to, I'm going to use a photo from that park. Even if it's up close with people, I want it to be from that park because then, people get a sense of what the park is going to look like a little bit too. So regarding this post, though, the Flickr post, this did not get a lot of traction. And it was a reminder to me, because I haven't put out a graphic post like this in a long time where it was just the graphic, that the face one, this one from Gambrels, did a whole lot better. And it was just a reminder to me to include photos in my graphics as well. So the third one is Ted Good ran a mapping clinic for us. And I had a photo from the past mapping clinic that he did. And then I put up OCAD to show, kind of what you would be working in and to give everybody a sense of that. Okay, does anybody have any questions at this point right now?
Yeah, Kathleen, this is Beatrice. Hi.
Hi, Beatrice.
I'm in the car. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. I had a question about just how much this costs in volunteer time and money.
Oh, wow. That's a good question. Thank you. So volunteer time is what you set for yourself. If you're the person managing your social media page, your social media accounts, you set that time. I enjoy what I'm doing. And so sometimes I spend more time than the average person would. I enjoy it partly because it keeps me connected to our club members more. I love our club members. We have a really great group of people. And it's just fun to stay in contact with them. So I do feel that my time would be different than someone else's time might be. So based on your plan and your schedule and what you decide to be consistent about is where you're going to set, okay, this is how much time I'm going to be spending doing this. In the beginning, if you haven't already been doing it, it will take you time to adjust. But once you get the hang of what you're doing, it'll take less and less time. And especially if you start scheduling your posts. I know that doesn't sound like it would save time, but it does, because what it helps me do is I know, for example, that on Tuesday nights, I've got to get that ready. I get it done. I don't want to be doing it necessarily on Tuesday night, but I do it. It's scheduled. Wednesday, all I have to do is go back and look at it, watch the post, interact, and have fun. So in terms of cost financially, the only time we've ever paid for anything is when we wanted to highlight a national event. Or let me think about that. No, that is the only time. I have never paid except for that, to make sure that everybody's seen it. And then, oh, this actually prompted something. So to go back to the payment, I don't pay anything unless we're highlighting, like we're going to be hosting, I believe, the Nationals in 2026. I will definitely pay for an ad for that. And I will start off at probably $50. And then if it's not getting enough traction, I'll raise it. If it's getting a lot of traction, I won't. So you don't have to have a set payment fee when you do an ad for, let's say, Facebook or Instagram. You can change it, you can add to it, and you can adjust it. So I would always start low and then work up if you need to, and then have a limit for yourself if you decide to go that route. But again, QOC is an organically grown social media, has a organically grown social media experience, I guess you can say. Thanks, Beatrice, for that question. That was a good question. I did have another thought, though. Oh, I can't remember what it was. Shoot, sorry. Anyway, let me go through the quick tips. Like I said earlier, we have a business Facebook and a business Instagram. Have your pages set to public. You want people to come to your page and not have to be invited. Because when you set your pages to private, it becomes almost like a barrier. And you just want to make it easier for everybody. Set it to public. Again, I will reiterate this 100 times if I have to. Clear up close photos of people showing emotion, gaining attention from the algorithm so that your post goes to more people. The more people, the stronger your community, the stronger the community, the more fun you have, and the added benefit of more volunteers. We have such a large group of people who volunteer for us now. It is truly amazing. And I really feel lucky that we have this with our club. Create fun write-ups geared towards beginners. I say beginners because the average person who's coming, the people who are coming who are new to your Facebook page and don't really know enough about you yet, they're not going to know what a reentrant is. They're not going to know the orienteering lingo that we all know about. So stick with the beginner, sort of pretend nobody knows what you're talking about, and don't use those terms. To build and learn, actively follow and like. To build your page and to learn from other people, follow. Go to other people, go to our QOC Instagram and Facebook page, look at who we follow, and if they're not ultra local to this area, follow them. They'll follow you back. Build your following. The bigger your following, the more that Instagram and Facebook will push out your posts. Get permission before taking photos of children. Encourage participants to take and share their photos. We have 5 to 8 people on a regular basis who send me photos after every event. Again, this is like in the last 5 years. I think since, I don't know what's changed. A lot of things have changed for us. I think it's because we've become more social in person. And I think because of the in-person socialness, we have gained a lot of new people, a lot of volunteers, and then our social media just backs that up. It just continues to back it up because people are super engaged in person and online. And that's my last point, engage. Make sure that when you put out a post that you're checking it. You need to watch it. You need to encourage people to talk. Ask a question as you, not as your club, as you. Okay. This is the end of my section. I'm going to hand it over to Sharma, unless anyone has questions.
I'll just put in to ask. So occasionally I'll get a notification that someone has tagged a photo saying I'm in it on
Yes.
the Instagram or Facebook.
Yes.
Do you think it's important that people do that? Do you do that at all yourself, or does it just happen organically?
So it used to be a big thing to do on these social media platforms. But more and more, I've discovered that not everybody likes that. And so I don't tag individuals anymore. Now, sometimes somebody will go on our feed and then tag someone for us. And that's okay. I don't mind that, but I won't actively tag people anymore. As a club, as the club face, I cannot tag people. I can tag other business or other organizations, but I cannot tag people. I can tag people as Kathleen Lennon, though. But I'm choosing not to do that because I don't think everybody wants to be tagged. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm not sure what all the reasons would be why people would want to preserve some degree of anonymity, but
No, it's just lost favor, I guess I should say. Facebook and Instagram are constantly changing. It ebbs and flows, just like with everything else. It sometimes things are popular, sometimes they're not, just like with the hashtags. And things are constantly in flux. So you're constantly also having to keep up and with what's changed or what's new. And sometimes I'll see somebody doing something and I'm like, how did they do that? And I'll have to dig in and figure out what they did because I like it. So there's a new thing, speaking of tagging on Instagram, where you can actually, there's a little window that pops up above, at least it does on, yeah, it does on mine. It pops up and says you can say something above your Instagram profile photo. And I've been using that more with QOC. And then I have another social media company that I work for. I do marketing and social media for another company. And I do it for them as well now, too.
for the detailed mechanics, when someone participates in one of our events and they do a post of your own, what do you do to increase the visibility of that within the community?
That's a good
Do you do
question.
it as QOC
Yeah, I
or as
do.
Kathleen?
I do that. So Lexi Brown, Amy Loudon, Sharma used to, but since then she's become the outreach and the volunteer coordinator, so she's not allowed to do that anymore. She has to send them to me. Sorry, Sharma.
No worries.
They and Sharma used to would all post their photos on their own Facebook pages or Instagram, and then I would contact them, and still do, to say, hey, I really like your photos. Can I share them? And they always say yes. No one has ever said no. Lexi gave me the opportunity to no longer have to ask anymore. And I'm sure Amy would give me the same, but I like asking Amy because she does so much for us. I feel like I owe her that. So each week, if Amy has photos, I will message her and I will ask, do you mind if I share your photos? And she'll say no. And then all I do is I go to that. It's easy. You just go there and you click your the right side of your mouse and say save, and you save it to your platform and then reshare it on the group. And then I have other people. Like Sharma, who share their photos with me through Google Drive. I have some people who email me their photos. I think from this last event that we had this last weekend, I had 7 different people send me photos. Or I went to their Facebook and Instagram and grabbed them. The other person, Justin Green, also puts photos on his Instagram, and then I just basically screenshot them and then add them because he also has given me permission. Hi, Pepe. Anyway, gosh, if you guys all have more questions, I'm happy to answer them. We have a little bit of time.
Well, you were handing off to Sharma, weren't you?
I was, yep. So let's move on then,
Okay.
Sharma. Whoops.
So I'm going to talk about how to create a strong online community, and that's by fostering our in-person community. As you can see from this picture, we're all
Sorry.
at our last at a Jug Bay a couple years ago. Kathleen made us do this jumping photo. Everyone clearly enjoyed it. So clearly we all like to have fun. So a big part of QOC is we introduce newcomers to the larger group. If one of us who are more social sees someone new that we don't recognize, we will go up to them and introduce ourselves, introduce them to other people. We ask them to go over their courses. We ask how they learned about orienteering. We let them know about our next orienteering event. And we also invite them to our post-event meetup. And here's a photo of one of our post-event meetups from last year. We have 3 types of social gatherings. The first one is the post-event meetups, and it's after most events. I will typically, find out where our event is on a map, find a restaurant that can accommodate a large group of people that's reasonably priced, and pick a place for post meetup events for people to hang out. Typically people roll in throughout the day, but we have a bigger group that goes after the event. And that's when we'll talk about the event, go over our maps, all that fun stuff about the day. Mappy hours we have about twice a year, and that's for anyone who wants to hang out outside of the woods. Those are typically at restaurants, and we switch between Maryland and Virginia since we have members in both states plus DC. And then we have one volunteer happy hour annually where we invite all volunteers to a happy hour that QOC covers food and drinks for, or food
One
and
drink.
one drink, sorry, and appetizers for, just as a way of saying thank you for our volunteers.
I would like to point out on that, Sharma, on your post-event meetup, I would like to highlight Sharma on this because she actually goes above and beyond. She actually tries to get little special goodies for us from these restaurants, like a free cookie or something like that, which is always nice.
And I just call the restaurant, give them a spiel, ask if they would like to present anything free for us. Most of the times they say yes, sometimes they say no, but we still go and eat. And this is a picture from last year's QOC's volunteer happy hour. As you can see, we had a pretty good showing last year.
Oh. Well,
and so we would like to say a huge thanks to our QOC community for reaching out, engaging with participants. Because of that, we have a strong and thriving community. I think the biggest reason why we have such a good online presence is because we have a very strong community outside of online. A lot of us are friends. A lot of us hang out outside of the woods. When we travel to these OA events, we stay together typically. We just have a really good community that's strong. So that helps the social media as well.
I agree. I completely agree. So to follow us and to use Canva, at Quantico Orienteering Club for Facebook and Instagram. And then Canva is just canva.com. Check it out. I hope this was useful. This was not certainly a tutorial on how to use Instagram and Facebook. I do highly recommend, though, that if you have not been using it and you want to learn for your club, YouTube has a lot of really good videos. And again, follow us. Watch what we're doing to get a sense of that. And I think, I hope you'll be pleasantly surprised with that. And I hope you enjoyed this topic. Any questions? Guess not. Okay.
We'll give them a little bit longer to overcome shyness.
Okay.
But actually, I'll just ask, do you study the demographics of the people who interact with our Facebook and Instagram much?
I do.
I'm wondering
actually,
if there's a generational problem at all with
so that's interesting.
reaching younger people.
Yeah, it's interesting you asked that because we have a new generation that's come in. And it's a new generation that's really bonded well together with each other and with us older long timers. And they're doing a lot. They're very connected with us. And it's just like all of a sudden, this age below the old time people, me, and you, John, have just come in and are doing a lot more. And that is showing that demographic, the age below ours, like the 30s to the 50s, I want to say, is showing up at a higher rate. Yes. Below that, not so much. Yeah, no. The younger generation, no. It's definitely starting at about 30 and up is what we're getting a lot of. But that's good, because in the past, it wasn't even that. It was maybe starting at 50 and up was a higher demographic. So it definitely has grown in terms of younger people coming in and doing things and attending in general. So I'm trying to
I
think
wonder a little bit to what extent that correlates with people starting to have kids. That suddenly Facebook becomes an important thing to connect the family, or
maybe,
distant, and that
yeah,
extends to the rest of their lives.
possibly. Yeah, that's possible. But I do think a lot of it is just because I'm thinking about the people who are attending right now. That there's a different mindset. They come and they jump in. So like we have this new guy whose name is Massey, who basically came to a first event, and at that first event joined us at our meetup. And he kind of sat there quietly, but he was there. And then every time we have little groups, talking at our events, he actually walks up and we all say, "Hey, Massey, how's it going?" And he's right there with us. He's not even been with us for a year. I think he started 2025, right, Sharma?
He started in September of last year. So
Okay,
just this past season.
Just this past season. He's already been an event director. So this group
I'm not
is
sure I've even met
coming
this
in.
fellow.
What was that?
I'm not sure I've even met this fellow.
Yeah, exactly. So, in the other photo I showed you back with Hillary, who did her first event, she's only been with us for a little over a year. So these people are just like coming in and jumping on the bandwagon and joining all of us.
Yeah, we didn't used to move people into major volunteer roles anywhere near that quickly,
well,
like a
they're
decade or
offering.
more ago.
They're offering. So
Well,
that's the other thing. Yeah.
I think two reasons that that is happening is, one, we revised the event director's handbook to make it a little easier to be an event director, and two, last year Kathleen and I put together an event director's workshop.
Yeah, but we've been doing that in the past, Sharma, and that Heidi was doing that in the past. So I agree with you. It does help to do those things, most definitely. But I think the biggest thing is how social we are in people right now, in person. When we're social in person and we're inclusive, it makes people want to come visit us online in our social platforms as well.
And to that point, Kathleen, I think that's also because at those socials, we're able to ask people whether they would event direct. And if they seem a bit hesitant, we can say, hey, I can do it with you. Let's co-direct.
You're
So
absolutely
the
right.
social aspect of that definitely
You're
makes it
absolutely
easier.
right. Yep. That's how Massey got recruited, actually. And then yeah.
Sorry, I worried a little bit when with COVID, we went to the having 15-minute blocks for people to show up at registration. That yes, it was great for logistically spreading people out, but also that we were kind of breaking up the opportunity to socialize, that tons of people were there all at the same time, the way we
So
used to do things.
I will
But
say I
I guess
did.
we're counteracting that tendency, if it exists, more successfully than I feared.
I had the same reaction, John. I was fearful that we were going to, everything we had worked up before COVID too, that we were going to lose it. I also felt the same way, but that did not happen. It got better, actually. What were you going to say, Sharma?
I will say that I started during COVID, and it was really hard to meet people during the first year because I feel like people would come do their courses and then leave. But it took about a year. But now people come before their time and hang out before and stay and after their course and hang out after. So I think that that's completely changed.
Also, the other person I want to highlight here, because he's been really good at this. Greg and I did it when we were presidents, and Don Fish is also doing it. When he meets somebody who's new to the club, he'll come to me or he'll go to Greg and he'll say, hey, I really want you to meet this person. I really want you to go over there and talk with them. So he did that at Jug Bay when I met Sharma for the first time. He says, there's this really great person I really want you to go over and talk to and get to know. I think you're going to really like her. And so he sent me over to Sharma, and I went over there and started talking with her, and look where she is now. It just takes that little bit of social interaction. And I think, when you have the leader of your club sort of setting the examples also, it's helpful. It encourages other people to do what he's doing as well. I think that's been very helpful too. There are so many people in our club who go out of their way now to talk to people they don't know, to ask them how they're doing. How was your course? Da, 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 da. Hey, I hope to see you at the next event. It's just amazing how much more time we spend at our events now because of this. It's just fun.
Pepe also mentioned our training weekend, and he said that it went a long way for him. And I agree. We were all kind of like stuck together for 3 days and got to know each other a lot better.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
We're still
Stuck
planning
together
to
in a
have
good
that
way.
coming up in the fall, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, we weren't doing that. We didn't do that this last year, but we do plan to do it, I think, this coming year, correct?
I think the weekend of November 14th, possibly.
Yeah. Okay. I would like to point out that one of the people on this call, Franciello Della Costa, he is one of my photographers. He's Brazilian, and he had been with us for 2 years. I miss him because he would go out into the woods and take photos. And so, Franciello, I would really like to thank you and just, again, tell you how much we miss you, not just because you took photos, but because you were a lot of fun.
Yeah, Joseph just asked how many events we do annually in the chat. It's around 26, 27 these days still,
I thought
isn't
it
it?
was 30-ish, wasn't it, Sharma, the last time we counted?
I think so.
Yeah, about 30 events a year.
Not counting the summer series.
Through the season.
No.
Yes. So our season is basically September through
June.
June.
Early June.
Early June.
Normally.
We take 3 months off. Oh, I want to mention that too. Earlier I mentioned that you should plan and stick to your schedule, be consistent. I will say that if you have a season where you're off for a few months, take that time off. I never post, almost. Sharma reminded me that I do post sometimes. If there's something special that comes up or somebody asks me to post something, I'll do it. But for the most part, I kind of need that break. And I think everybody, and that's partly why we take that time off, so that our volunteers get the break. So if you have that volunteer, if your group, your volunteers take that break and you're doing social media for your club, take that break. Take the break and then put on your website, hey, we're taking a break for the summer. We'll see you in, and then put like a date of your first event when the season starts back up. I do that every year. And I haven't lost, we still back up, going just as strong when the season starts back up. Matthew, did you have a question?
He did raise his hand.
Yeah, but I don't.
Oh, sorry, I'm talking now. I was unmuted. I've got 3 things. When I started consolidating the OSIN Facebook presence, Kathleen was one of the first people who followed us and was sending me things and advice and things. And I followed them and I noticed what they were doing or what Kathleen was doing. And Kathleen, I'm so glad you did this. It was a really, really great introduction to how to use Facebook and Instagram. So that was amazing. I really liked it. The second thing about tagging photos, in the past, I noticed tagging photos was like extremely useful. And I thought it was the 2013 Relay Championships, but it might have been the 2012 or some other relay championships. At the time, I think OSIN was doing like a winter event where we'd often do a relay championships. And we tagged people. Like our engagement for a post would go from like 100 to like 2,000 just because we
Seriously?
had tagged a bunch of people. It was ridiculous. And
Oh,
right now, like I can't even like on the on the Orienteering USA website, Facebook page, excuse me, we can't even tag people. Like it's somehow turned off. And I when Clint was alive, I asked him to try to fix it. He couldn't do it. Um, and I'm wondering if it's something that Facebook has disabled or whatever. But like I'm only interested in it because of that engagement. Like it was ridiculous how many people you would tag someone like an Allie Crocker who has like 1 million friends on Facebook, or like an Izzy Bryant who has like 1 million friends on Facebook, and all of their friends would see that and they would like it, and they would learn about orienteering. I think so. Um, that was a form of engagement. I'm not sure it's still available to us, but I'd like to see it there again. And the third comment I have is. Um, I think one of the problems that we have at Orienteering Cincinnati is we don't have a person who has the time to spend that Kathleen does. So we struggle to get posts on our page, and we really try to just do like the minimum we can. It's like, we have an event coming up, here's the results link when it's over, and whatever is in the middle. But we also have, what we did was we created a group. So the page is like broadcasting, it's like radio, like the page talks, no one else can talk back to it except through the comments. But the group, it's like if you're a member of the group, anyone can post and they can post things. So one of our photographers is a retired Navy captain. He would post things to our Friends of OSIN group. And Orienteering Louisville has a Friends of OLU website group as well. And we post to that and people can engage with it. And anybody who comes and takes pictures can post to the group, and we're able to share those. Like if we notice it from the page, we can share it to the page, and it gets a little bit more engagement to people like who aren't local. But the group tends to be more local people only, and the page tends to be like anyone who's interested who comes to like OSIN events through the year. So I don't know if Quantico has a group that you guys use, but that's something that was really valuable to us, I think, because when we're doing an event, like Mike and McMinium and I, like we forget to take photos. We have people like Stephanie Ross show up, and she started taking photos and posted them to Facebook. And it was like, oh my God, we're getting so much engagement from these photos. And then we had like other people show up, like Rex, who were taking photos and posting them. And that seems to be the secret weapon, is the photos every weekend of every event you do. That's all I got. Thank you so much.
so Matt, yeah, I just want to say really quickly, Sharma, sorry. Thank you, Matt. I do know you. I remember talking with you, and I see that your club is actually doing quite well, and you have a lot of followers. Regarding the tagging, really quickly, are you tagging as OSIN or are you tagging as Matt Robbins?
As me. Yeah, like literally I can tag people, and then when I move to the next page, move to the next photo and come back, it's gone. It's
Yeah.
somehow disabled at the OUSA site.
At the OUSA site.
At the OUSA page level, like you cannot tag anybody. And I've asked Clint to fix it. He couldn't fix it. I mentioned it to Christina, but I haven't really pushed hard.
Well,
So
it's interesting because I have not noticed a lot of tagging on Facebook, I will admit. And I know it was a thing not to do for a while. Like it was recommended that you don't do it. Because I follow other organizations that, they have like webinars and things like that on it.
mhm.
And so I just stopped doing without realizing that it was not even available. But I'm going to look into that for you.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to look and see what that is.
And I will say too that like our rule is we don't tag. We put up photos of kids without asking necessarily, but we will not tag kids. We'll only the parents can tag kids or other people, and we will tag their parents sometimes if we think that but only in a comment, not in the photo itself.
Yeah, I've actually had people tell me take my kid off.
And we do that too. Yeah, that's really a sensitive topic. Thank you.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Sharma?
So Joseph asked how many come to a typical event, and for QOC, it's between 150 to our biggest events are like 400 people.
Yeah.
and those are like Halloween and beginner events and stuff.
Right.
And do all our events include beginners? So QOC has beginner instructors at every single event. We are a very beginner friendly group. We want beginners to come. We want them to come back. So we have instructors at every single event to teach people how to orienteer.
And not only do we want people to come and try orienteering, and so our even our website is starting to be geared a little more. Look, your longtime orienteers are always going to come, no matter what it says. They know about you. They're hooked. So your posting in your social media and even our website now is gearing more towards beginner friendly sort of mindset, because they are the potential future, right? When they find you and when they get hooked, they stay. And I do, back to what Matthew said about photos. We do take photos, and we use photos after every single event, every event.
With that, I don't believe anyone else has raised their hand,
Joe just
and
raised.
we're already some minutes. Oh, sorry, Joseph.
Yeah, I was
Okay,
just
last question to Joseph.
okay. I was just wondering if you have trouble at your venues with so many people. We're very limited. Like we can frequently have limits of 100 or sometimes 60 or 80 that we're allowed to have at a park. Because
By
of
the park
parking.
service or because of
Yeah.
parking?
Mostly it's because of parking.
Oh, so that's the other thing. Okay, so John mentioned earlier that during COVID, we had staggered starts. Like we have these start windows that start at 10 a.m. and end, the last start I think is 1 o'clock. And then everybody has to be off the course at 3. Is that right? Am I right about the 1 o'clock ending
We
time?
let people start as late as 1:30. They have to
1:30.
check in
Okay.
by 1:15.
So we have a pretty
So
strong
that's
start window, and people sign up in those start windows. They have to start in those start windows. And what we've realized, we did it because of COVID, but we've realized that it does two things. It gives us more space for parking, which is, I think, what you're talking about is a problem, because people come, then they go, and then other people come in. So there's more parking availability, and it doesn't inundate our registration table and our timing system such that there's this mad rush of people coming in all at once. That has gone away. So
Yeah,
we now have this more fluid flow through.
We've done the same thing during COVID, and it was really successful. It made the event so much more pleasant because
Yes.
the volunteers were able to interact with people rather than having this huge rush and a line, and you're struggling to try to get everyone out.
Yeah, and then
quickly as
someone gets
possible.
frustrated and they get mad or whatever happened. Yes,
Yeah.
no. So we stayed with that, and there were some club members. Sorry, there were some people, not necessarily club members, that didn't like that. They wanted us to go back to the old way. But we felt for our volunteer sake and for the sake of parking, because we were getting so many people, that we had to stick with the system because it was working well.
Yeah, our problem is that the ranger, we've explained to him that we can, stretch people out over the whole event so they don't all come at once.
Right.
But that's not the way they issue the permit. The permit is for 150 people, period, and it doesn't matter when they come or the fact that there might only be 10 people at the shelter at any one time.
Oh, interesting.
So,
we haven't had that issue. We've had other parks that have completely stopped allowing us in the park. But that changes with the park superintendent too. So sometimes that'll shift over the years.
Yeah, we've had the same thing with venues that we mapped, and then the restrictions on using it were so onerous that we stopped using them.
Right.
And then a new park superintendent comes in, and we'd love to have you come in, and suddenly it's it's all good again.
Right. So
okay. With that, we're 10 minutes past our theoretical end time. So thank you very much, both Kathleen and Sharma, for the benefit of your experience. And thanks everyone for coming with questions and comments on it.
thank you.
Haven't settled what the forum is next month, but hope to see many of you there. Right.
Thank you for inviting us, John.
Thanks, John.